My name is Victor Barr. I'm currently an instructor at the University of Washington teaching business policy and strategy management and intro to macroeconomics.
Yeah, my name's Logan Hilgers. I'm currently the interim executive director at Growing Veterans. We empower veterans to cultivate purpose and belonging by growing food, community, and each other. And the vision of that is to end isolation that leads to suicide. I spent 8 years as a public educator, a total of 10 years as an educator, but 8 of those were in the public education system as a special education teacher. I also spent 21 years in the Army National Guard where I did missions around the world within our own country. And then coaching. I've coached quite a few sports, boxing, basketball, track and field, and baseball. And Blair reached out to me when I was newly into the role at interim executive director at Growing Veterans, asking if I would endorse this initiative. And as I read through some of it, I just really resonated with it. Like presently, and there was like the inner Logan, the inner child Logan, the younger Logan who still lives in me, resonated with some of the things I was reading on there as well. And so I knew that was something that Growing Veterans really needed to endorse. And hopefully we see it come to fruition. And so this was a nonprofit that was founded by a Marine Corps veteran in 2012. This is year 13 we're working on here. It was a vision that kind of came to him about using sustainable agriculture to kind of give skills to veterans to help that transition into civilian world. So you're getting skills, you're getting community. Our two big things to help that transition is like we call it dirt therapy and peer support. And dirt therapy is just pretty much therapeutic farming. And there's a physiological response in your brain and body when you get your hands in the dirt and you're working with the earth and the plants. Whether you're picking weeds or planting seeds, you just really start connecting with the earth when you put in that work. But it also, we've noticed that it leads to people being maybe more vulnerable. Maybe there's some walls that come down, and maybe they're willing to talk more about some of maybe the things that are they're struggling with their transition, or maybe some PTSD or some challenges from their service that they're still really holding on to. And so the peer support training that we have to offer, that's essentially how to like speak, listen, validate, empathize with veterans who are in a time of crisis, and just kind of create this supportive community for veterans as they're trying to figure out, because a lot of them are like, what do I do next in life? And it might not be farming, but it gives them a place where they belong and they feel safe. It's welcoming. And, being able to grow your own food and harvest your own food. Just a few generations ago, nearly the whole world had those skills. And
Yeah,
it's only been 3 generations removed now, and not a lot of people have those skills. And so that's something too that we really want to give to the veteran community. And the Growing Veterans too is I want to make it known right away that it's not a veteran exclusive club. This is
yeah,
a nonprofit, and these are opportunities and experiences that are open to our entire community. It's
I love
just
it.
not for veterans. It's just founded and managed by veterans.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, and then I saw that a lot of the food that you do grow is donated back to the community in Bellingham, right?
Yeah, it goes to food banks throughout Whatcom County, and
Okay.
I think Nooksack Valley Food Bank. We try to identify. There's things called food deserts, and there's and you'd be surprised. There's a couple of communities with kind of considered food deserts in this area. All of our produce is organically grown, and we want to get that nutrient dense food on the tables of families that typically might not have access to those foods. For any visitors that or volunteers that come out to our farm, right? Say if we have a day where we're harvesting tomatoes and we have like 40 pounds of tomatoes,
Wow.
whatever volunteers or visitors are there, we're like, hey, take a few with us. Right now, one of our big things, right? We had a gathering today, a coffee check-in out at our farm, and there was a couple of guys that we made sure went home with some eggs because we have like a dozen egg laying hens out there. And I had taken my dozen home with me earlier this week, and we had another dozen sitting there. When we have times of harvest or when our hens are laying eggs, come out there and be a part of our community, and you might walk away with a little extra produce or eggs.
Just curious, how many people would you say volunteer at any given time?
Well, the numbers that I've been kind of like putting together, and that's through like our peer support training, whether they're attending the training, whether you're at our dirt therapy or coming to our coffee check-ins. It is over 200 veterans a year on average that we're serving, and it's over 100 civilians
Oh, that's
like on the property or in those trainings. But as far as like how many households or people are getting our food on their table, it's probably over 1,000 homes that our organic produce is getting into. And then when we have fundraising events too, that awareness and outreach stuff, we're making connections in our community. We're proud to say that the vice president of our board is a female veteran, and she's a huge asset. And she's a great spokeswoman for our organization. And something that we're really proud of too is sometimes when you go to some other organizations, and I'm not going to name names, but there's some other veteran organizations out there where alcohol is like the focal point of
oh
their like consuming alcohol is
yeah.
like the focal point of their organization and getting together around alcohol. And unfortunately, those types of environments sometimes push certain veterans out. Sometimes it pushes female veterans out. We are an alcohol you know, free facility. We're a farm. We empower veterans to cultivate purpose and belonging by growing food, community, and each other. And the vision of that is to end isolation that leads to suicide.